Everybody again, and welcome to another episode of Stock Talk Product Review. I am your host, Mike, and I've got a decent show for you. Please like and subscribe to the show where we review companies and stocks of what these companies do with the stocks. And we also review products. Try some of the products out that some of the companies give us. We show and demo them for you and try to review the best we can. So go out and support the channel by supporting the people that support us. Helps keep us around and helps keep the lights on here. One of the first stocks we're going to talk about here is InflaRx N.V. InflaRx N.V. Last tick was $5, and actually no, last tick here. Let's go back. $5.50. Sorry. Resistance starting to pop up. We're going to find out why. We're going to go to the Alphabet Media and find out from the Mockingbirds why this is ticking up and why it is for the last week. It is at $3.58 gain in the past 5 days. Now, after hours, you can't count after hours because that's when the special club gets to do what they get to do. So this stock is actually one of the top gainers throughout the week, was ranked from sources. Let's see, what source did I have on that from top gainers there? Going on to tip ranks, InflaRx stock spikes. Is there further upside, says Amit Singh. InflaRx received emergency use authorization for COVID-19 drug. Analysts say further upside. Shares of InflaRx jumped 83.9% on Tuesday, April 4th. Further, its stock to 11.4% pre-market session on Wednesday, while the stock price of the clinical biopharmaceutical company increased by a lot. Wall Street analysts see further upside. The surge came when InflaRx came for the U.S. Food and Drug Administration granted the emergency use authorization for its monoclonal antibody use for COVID-19 treatment in hospitalized adults. The FDA approval is based on phase 3 clinical trials, which has showed improvement in patient survival. So, guys, that is huge news in itself, because you might be thinking right now, well, it's over, spring's coming and everything like that. But don't sleep on it, because guess what will be around the corner as soon as you know it? Fall will be back. And if you think it's not going to be cold again with another cold spell next year, you're sadly mistaken. The weather patterns are probably going to be cold and rainy again next year. And that doesn't do good for flu season. And so with this, like they said, COVID ain't going away. So watch this one. I would say keep your eyes out for this one. I would say keep your eyes out on this stock, because when people end up in the hospital with this kind of stuff, it's really bad. And that is shown to help a lot of people when they are struggling with this disease. So, and there's other things they have in the hopper as well. Let's go to the website, check it out, and see what they got. Guys, going into the pipes, there are several things they have going on. Immunodermatology, preclinical, they're past the preclinical, they're in phase 3 on that. So not only do they have that, they already got FDA approval on the oncology there for the life-threatening inflammatory disease for the carcinomas there. But you could already see COVID-19 right there with the monoclonal antibodies. Guys, that's huge in itself. You right here with the immunodermatology that I'm pointing to with the phase 3 and your oncology, there are several things here. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you, like I told you guys before, the economy is not in good shape. Let's be honest with ourselves. This isn't the greatest economy we ever seen. You're not going to make wheelbarrows full of money. Maybe not. That's up to you, and that's how if you play your cards right. Some of you are making wheelbarrows full of money, and some of you are losing badly, unfortunately, and that is unfortunate to hear. I don't like to hear people losing money. But I will say that this company right here, depending on cash flow, because you always got to see where the money flows and things like that and do your investigations, this company, you could hit those phases and ride these news waves, and you might have some luck. Now, Rome's not built in a day. These studies take time. Might not be tomorrow, might not be next week, might be 2 or 3 years now, could be 5 years from now. So you're playing a short or long play depending on how the breakthrough studies go. but it could be a hedge against a pissy economy. Just saying. So there's with that. So they have a healthy pipeline in there. Something to think about when you're doing some investing. Anna has a good point. She said only 9% of institutional ownership. Going on to StockTwits, because that's where the real traders are at. We have Morguena says only 9% of institutional ownership may be partially functioned by laws, share price $5, for example. A lot of sidelight waiting for the result. One of the biggest across the board analysts share price ranges of huge magnitude I could see in the ages. If toots enter in the way coupled by modest short squeeze could be moving up for weeks. That's not that far of a reach. I would tend to agree with her there. FFODT says, in talk with FDA full approval, hope the date is sufficient. Already submission meeting for the second half of 2023. Partnerships with U.S. pharmas for commercialization, one option, and exploring seems to be confident that the Chinese partner will get it done, and the Chinese FDA must be noticing EUA. The other fact of the matter is here, guys, is that you have several things that these guys are dealing with. You don't just have one thing to think about. You have several different studies. And right now, with China, they do have some cash on hand. So, whatever they're going to throw at it. I'm not a big China hawk myself or anything like that, but, you have to look at that and take that into consideration. He puts 84 cash to take them through 2025. That's going to possibly take them through 84 mil. That's going to take them through to get some of these other studies doing what they're doing. That is not counting COVID revenue exactly because of the monoclonal antibodies. You're coming out of a flu season, but you're also going to be coming back into one again. So that's something. The COVID season will be back. Landing a partner with commercialization will be relatively low cost generation. What else has he got? This is a great take, guys. I'm impressed here. Stratish Stachter, whatever, says this InflaRx website bears repeating in addition to derma diseases. See that you don't want to bury the lead, and that's it. He's not burying the lead there. You do have that derma diseases talk there. Do not forget about this. This EUA is a great recognition of COVID-19 related research and based upon over two decades of groundbreaking work on tissue and organ damaging effect of the complacent factor of C58 in the body's immune response. InflaRx will evaluate broadening development of vilobelimab and other viral lung injury and viral sepsis and mechanism have long research for preclinicals. Our COVID-19 results underscore the anti-inflammatory potential of inhibition. Yeah, guys, you don't just try not to sleep as far as when looking at this. And like I said, this is a hedge away from some of the other garbage ones and things like that. Don't obviously when people on the boards are they got their pom-poms out and everything for that. These guys actually right here are providing you news that you can digest. So on the board here for StockTwits, you got some real good board people here. And you should really seriously think about taking a look at this play. Hey guys, the next stock we have is Eloxx Pharmaceuticals Incorporated. Eloxx Pharmaceuticals Incorporated. Last tick was $5.64. And it on the 6th, it had a $1.43 gain. Now year to date's been this is a survivor, guys. Through that, let's go 5 years on it. Now, obviously through it, it's still the chart 404 negative. It was there, but it's surviving through the hard times there. Now it's leveling out and it's starting to come back, and we're going to see why that pushback is and things like that. But lots of things happened. Lots of people cashed out and panicked, and the worst is not yet over, unfortunately. But we're going to look at $1.43. Things are starting to look back up again for this thing. Let's go to the Alphabet News and see why this is trending and why people are talking about it. So going on to NASDAQ, it says Fintel reports April 6th, 2023 that Oppenheimer reiterated the coverage of Eloxx Pharmaceuticals and it gave it the outperform recommendation. Now we do know a little bit back it came down and slumped because they did a phase 2. They had a phase 2 study in the pipeline, which we're going to go to, and it looks like it failed. But this was like way back in a blue moon in the stock world. But we're going to go to on to the website, check it out, and we're going to jump into the pipes because the pipes is the most important thing. And the other thing is who's doing the funding, what's going on with the studies, and how much cash on hand. Those are the questions you have to ask when you look at these biopharmaceuticals. And like I said, they're a hedge against some of you, as the economy deteriorates, the greatest economy we've ever seen, allegedly, you could gravitate toward these and take a look at these biopharmas. Going on to the website, looks good. It better look good. It was freaking way high price before, and Skyfall going through the window. That was a bad version. Not feeling too well under the weather today, peeps. Rare thinking for rare solutions. Cystic Fibrosis Foundation awards $15.9 million grant. Write that down. Eloxx, also the treatment Alport syndrome for a rare kidney disease. At Eloxx, they are leveraging the power of technology platforms by building novel small molecule genetic therapies. Going into the pipeline, one of the other things when looking at this company, several things in the pipes. And they got the cash on hand. And I'm sure you're going to see that with the twits on there. Okay, so look at all, if you are new to trading and you're looking at a biopharmaceutical, like I said, the things with the cash on hand, who's funding, things like that. So we already got that out of the way. We know they have the funding. Look at all the studies they have in the pipes. You have the CFTR Class 1 CFR indication discovery, ELX02 fast track. You're on phase 2, heading on to phase 3. You also have the collagen study. That's in IND enabling. First could be in phase 1, first in human. You have several options where you can hit in the news. And that's the other thing. Several different studies that you can hit in the news. APC undisclosed. Pancreatic cancer, yeah, they're in there. Look at this. Onoribosome, mitoribosome mutations, protein translation inhibition. You have your oncology studies, and then your rare diseases there. Cystic fibrosis, dystrophic MDosis. Too many things in the hopper. Looks like they're almost to phase 3 on ELXK02 fast track. So I would keep an eye on this. I would definitely put this on your watch list. My personal, what I like to do is, because all of these end up the week after most of the time, after being popular, the reason why we make these lists and we talk about them, because some people are like, oh, this show, they just read stuff, and this show is designed to keep it as a library. It's a library of every stock to cover. So you can go back and you can look if you see when after people short it and dump it, you can go back and pick it up. It's almost like a bookmark to bookmark what we talked about before. Has nothing to do with telling you how to trade. There's nothing to do with strategies or anything like that. It just shows you what they have, what specifically like this, what they have in the pipes, what they do, and see if you can go back 2, 3, 4 weeks from then and pick up cheap stock, because people are stupid and they do dumb things and they short and they forget about their stock, and some are new and they get frustrated and they lose their money, and you go back and pick up the cheap stuff. That's just basically, unfortunately, what happens. So you can leave these as a bookmark of what we talk about, and you can go back and try to see where they're at and see if they're at a reasonable price for you if you decide to pick them up. Remember, like I always said, who's funding it? What are they doing? Don't get married to a stock either. That's another thing too. Do not always lock in profits. Don't get married to anything. And it's a risky game. If you're new, paper trading, like I always said, don't go doing something stupid. On to stock twits, because that's where the real traders are at sometimes. It looks like on this board so far, we got Dono Negato, Misto, Roboto. Intreo, they're on here. They say, Eloxx Pharmaceuticals, our machine learning model assessed the price of this company will drop in the coming days. Oh, no freaking shit, Sherlock. Of course it's going to drop. The freaking everybody's been talking about it and everything, and shorties are going out. That's the kind of thing I'm telling you, man. It's just like the botniks on here. They're just simply, it's frustrating, and some people actually believe this crap and look at this and make decisions. So don't listen to the botniks. The next stock we have is CASI, CASI Pharmaceuticals Incorporated. Last tick was $3.70. It is the number 4th stock talked about on the Google machine last week. $3.70 was the last tick, 18 cents the day of. Let's see, 5-day history, you're starting to see resistance popping up on April 3rd, and then this thing shot up like a rocket, $1.68 for April 6th, and then you know what happens when shorties get out. But year to date, check that out. Isn't that a looked good year to date chart right there? Most healthiest we've ever seen. And then the 5-year chart, well, 5-year chart, you know how it goes with the greatest economy we've ever seen since man. That's what happens. Let's go on the news and see why people are talking about this. Here's what I know what happens. Some people, from what I've looked at, are reacting to the news of the merger. The merger with, so we'll have to see what happens with that. A lot of people are questioning on the boards as far as on the twits. What's going on here? Why did this pop all of a sudden a little bit there? But we might get more news next week to see. So let's go on to the actual website and find out what they do, because that's the most important thing before you look at this. Going on the website, looks good, better look good. They're not a ham sandwich stock. The only question is CASI Pharmaceuticals. Now, let me just tell you, with it, they announced the China market approval for the melatonin hydrochloride injection. Let me raise the question to you guys at first on CASI Pharmaceuticals. These are volatile stocks that could be manipulated. All stocks can be manipulated, not just saying be wary of this market right here, okay? As far as being volatile, the symbols could change in a dime here real quick. So don't get your pom-poms out for the stock and get all married to it, but just be really, really, really careful. Some of you might not know, but 93% of your pharmaceuticals come from China. Yeah, it's actually a national security risk. So most of your stuff comes from China, just to give you a heads up on that, because in America, we pretty much don't make anything anymore. We're trying to get infrastructure back, but this is not a show for that. We want to talk about CASI anyway, but there's something that you might not have known about pharmaceuticals and where they come from and things like that. Here's your pipeline. Most important thing about the company. They're working on non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. They're in phase 2. Acute lymphoblastic leukemia. They almost out of phase 2, going to the NDA filing. You have the non-Hodgkin's lymphoma solid tumors. That's in phase 1. Also, solid tumors is in phase 1, almost through phase 1 completely. And then non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, phase 1 to almost to phase 2. Investigational initiative for drug candidate in license for Greater China region, phase 1. Investigational initiative for drug candidate with global and commercial rights. Multiple melanoma, phase 1. Indication for hematological malignancies and inherited blood disorders, FTA filing review. So you have several things in the hopper. Every single time news busts on these, like I said before, they react to that. These change hands and change dollaruskis. Now, I did see on the Google machine that there were a lot of people complaining about losses with this stock. So that's something to take into consideration before investing in there. Who's got the cash? What are they doing with it? And that's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to, you got to do your own research. But I'm just saying, who's supplying the cash for this? Where are they? Who's involved in it? And the who, the how, the when, the where, the why. On to stock twits, because that's where the real traders are at. 8007 says CASI a few days ago was triggered, no Chinese tag on it. It's Cayman Islands KY company now. Nice move, staying in. So he's saying that that's with the merger there, that maybe it's not affiliated with that. If anybody has the information, is it with China? Which I assume everything that comes from there, it's still connected to CCP and things like that. Love the Space says the move is still under Wall Street's radar with news. Some of the tension, we may be squeezed around $4 max. This is a CASI bear market. VO7 says holding it for 2 years won't sell. We're on a Cayman Island company now. Very undervalued. So he's given his opinion and letting you know where they stand. Great to have him on there, so he's giving good information there. Spaces, Friday is CASI News Day. Tomorrow is last day of Q1. Volume is up since 1 week. You know what is happening in 16 hours. We're not going to read the take about the Americans there that's on the screen because that's troubling right there. Anyway, that's it for the show. So please like and subscribe. Don't make it a dog show. And we'll see you back tomorrow. Please remember to support us by liking, subscribing, and supporting some of the people that put their products to advertise on this channel. Some of you, if you're new again, we do product reviews just to help get some of the people's products, the word for their products out there. And sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather, but I'm trying to cut through the show. So don't make it a dog show. And good night now!